more here, Summertime, episode 8, of course, review time. And man, this was a Nestor Hentai episode. I'm just gonna say it, guys. This felt very Nestor. I loved it. No, but okay. So first of all, what I really like is anime, right? Many things. Great writing, interesting storyline, right? Even though the whole imposters and so on. It's like a classic trope, right? That you have like, oh, someone is copying my people and so on. But one thing anime does so well, and for example, I like it a lot more than I like, you know, a typical horror movie, right? Or a horror TV show, whatever. Even though I do like a lot of horror movies, is of course the comedy, right? And the etchiness. But it's definitely is the horror theme, right? Mixed with this, that is fun, right? So the first 3-4 minutes, especially before the opening, right? It's just pure comedy. And it's really fun comedy, right? Uschi goes home and it's like, Tadaima! Oh, I love you! Yeah, let's make food! It's alright! And then there's this weird, you know, obviously, again, I can call it Nestor hentai jokes, right? She's hiding under the table, you know, and he's like touching her, you know, he's like kicking her ass, and she's like, stop touching my butt, and you know, and then she's standing next to her, like, what are you doing? Nothing! Like, you know, that kind of stupid, you know, comedy, right? That kind of stupid, like, yeah, cheating on, you know, his girlfriend with her sister, and she can't see it, you know, that kind of really stupid kind of disbelief. But still, it's really funny, right? And Ushi's a really funny character. And I think this anime is great, but again, I think I really emphasize this in this review here, that I really love this anime, because it is both really funny and also has cool horror, right? Because the first half or so is just really, really funny, especially then before the opening zone is really like this bit, and then we see later, right, in his bedroom, they keep doing this comedy bit and so on, and of course eventually, comes later, then, you know, comes the bad news and so on, and kill them. But the first half or so, roughly, right, is just a comedy, right? And that's something that you can't find if you watch something like, you know, a typical American Hollywood horror. It's just gonna be kind of horror all the way. But and for that matter, because I do like horror, right, generally speaking, American horror and so on, that's probably why I think, for example, movies like Scream and so on, right, were successful. Because Scream, for example, has that, right? Scream is funny. Scream makes funny. It makes fun, right, of other horror movies. Then of course we have Scary Movie, which is a parody on Scream. But Scream itself is already a parody on, you know, horror movies, right? To some extent, not fully. It's a horror movie, but it definitely makes fun of its own genre a lot, right? And that's probably why it is successful. And this anime, I feel, doesn't make fun maybe as much on horror, to some extent, but it, you know, it's anime fun, you know, it's Japanese comedy fun, right? So a little different. But anyway, this first scene, man, super very, very Netto-rare feeling, where it's like, I'm touching, you know, your sister under the table here while I'm, of course not in a, you know, sexy way, but, you know, still kind of like hiding her under the table, and like, go away, hide, she can see your ass, I can't help it, my ass is too big, hide under that table, you know, like pushing her away, like, you touched my pepper, you know, that kind of shit. Don't talk, she will hear you, you know. And you really have to, of course, have the disbelief in your head, like, oh yeah, sure, she's never gonna hear you, right? Kind of like when reading these hentais and whatever, you're like, oh yeah, sure, of course the son doesn't hear his mom or the sister, or they never hear that, even though it's like, what's happening on the table? No one ever hears that, right? Certainly the anime is ecchi, though. I mean, of course, the anime, as I keep saying in the reaction too, is not like ecchi, right? But definitely it's very anime. I mean, I don't mind, I'm just saying that, you know, it mixes definitely like comedy, ecchi, and horror, right? Yeah. Because of course it's like, oh, my clothes is magical, I can accidentally remove them by my magic and so on. Of course you can and so on, right? So you have that scene, and I love the smacking scene and so on. But I think again though, it is very net. I mean, this scene really made no sense, right? I mean, again, it really only makes sense in like a hentai, like, right? Because this, I think, is even more so than anime. Certainly some anime is like Bokuber, whatever, does the same thing, but this is like hentai level of, you know, characterization, right? Like she hides under his blanket in his bedroom, right? They have 2 glasses, 2 plates, you know, everything, right? Mia comes in and is like, hey brother, hey girl, hey bro, what are you doing? Oh, nothing, I'm eating here. Okay, sure. And like his bed is like, it's clearly a person hiding in the bed. You know, you can't see it. And she's like hiding there, looking at her in the bed, like, oh, it's me. What if she sees me, right? And it certainly has that really, really that raunchy, you know, cheating comedy. Yeah, like, you know, he's dating one girl and then sleeping with her sister. I mean, it clearly has that feel to it. Obviously, you know what I mean. Like, it clearly is that what he's joking on, right? And she's hiding there, looking, staring at her from the blanket. She's like, oh, I don't see anything. But seriously, not to shit on Miyu too much, but Miyu, I keep saying it, but Miyu really picked up like a hentai, you know, not arguably maybe a protagonist, but more so like, you know, the kind of hentai how do you call it? Like the extra, I guess, yeah, the side character, right? Doesn't get any action, yeah. She really picked up that side character action. She kind of is in the hentai, but doesn't get any action. They just is next to it all the time, yeah. She's just a victim, like, she can't see this shit. But anyway, that's the first half, right? And again, of course, I really enjoy it. I love the comedy, and I really do think this is something that makes this anime different, right? From, or arguably so more Japanese stuff generally, right, than like the West, right? Because they would never really joke about this in a horror. They would maybe, but man, it's so rare. But honestly though, because like I said earlier, I just want to say it again. I like screaming and so on, right? But all like the most modern horror movies today, done in Hollywood or whatever, right? They feel they're too slashy or just too horror-y. And especially I feel a lot of them usually are like the bad guys usually win and so on, right? Whatever. But yeah, they feel too much of that, right? This is what I think horror should be. It should be raunchy comedy and scary stuff, right? This anime really mixes that way. Then let's go to the sister battle, right? So of course the Miyu comes in first. The hentai Miyu comes in. It's like, oh, is this a hentai now? And then she runs away. But honestly, yeah, she comes in and is all confused, right? And it's like, hentai, and then leaves. That doesn't make any sense. And then the next Miyu comes in and kills them, right? And this anime is good too, but it mixes again horror and anime. But I love the scene she stabs her shadow tone later. This is interesting. I think it's interesting here too because even though their bodies take damage to some extent, they clearly can't die by this. Like this is actually not a damage to her or something like that. Like you have to hit the shadow, right? This actually she can't die from this thing. So it's a good, effective fighting technique. You can use your body as a weapon. I find most interesting though in this fight is actually this scene. And that's how Miyu gets pissed off. And yeah, the scene looks kind of weird, right? Miyu is all screaming and so on. But I think it's an interesting scene. Not just a detail of her teeth, but yeah, interesting, scary scene. But I think it's interesting in how, it's just like, it feels like they take over the bodies, right? And they keep some of the personality to some extent. But I certainly feel it's interesting how it definitely comes off as that she's actually genuinely angry, right? Because Ushio is her sister, right? Her shadow sister. So now they're both shadows. And she's like, why are you still helping the humans, right? Let's kill him and we can all be happy together, Because I guess from a shadow perspective, because they talked about they like take over families, right? And like, collect the whole family and make like a shadow family. So for her, it's like, you're betraying the family, right? I'm your sister, and maybe she was created by Ushio, of course, for them, right? The shadow. Probably not, maybe how she feels, right? She's like, stop betraying me. We're your actual shadow sisters, right? Let's kill him. Make a shadow brother, and then we can all be together. We can have, I don't know, a gang, but yeah, we can all have sex, whatever. Yeah, we can all have fun time, whatever. She's like, stop doing this dumb shit, right? And let's, team up instead and seduce him together as a shadow form, whatever, right? Yeah. So she certainly actually feels genuinely pissed off, right? So I think there is, as I said earlier in the review, I think there is a lot of that the shadows actually do have their own personality and individuality, right? To some extent. Yes, they do serve this like grandmother, and they do serve, the papa, big shadow in the middle, right, between us and the mother. But to some extent, they have their own motivation, right? Like she probably wants to be with, the same guy, right? Of course, she wants to sleep with the shadow version of the same person that Miyu is in love with, right? Very likely so, right? That would be my guess, right? She's in love with him, right? But she doesn't want to be with, of course, the human. She wants to, clone him, right? And then have a marriage with the shadow version of the person, right? That is probably how it's, right? Just like I said, the other family, right? She takes the parents, so yeah. So the wife kills her husband and makes a husband clone, so she can be with the husband clone, right? That seems to be how shadows are. So she's probably like, stop fighting, let's kill him together. We can be all happy together, all three of us. We can be happy forever, right? So she actually felt she was like genuinely, sad, right, or and then angry that her sister's betraying her, right? So I think it's interesting too. It can definitely be used against them how they have this personality, right? Anyway, in the end, we see them also finding this recording, right? And I think the recording is probably gonna be how she gets killed or whatever, right? Yeah, I felt like she was recording on her phone just before someone attacked her. So next episode we probably see how Ushio got like killed, right? Because she's maybe isn't that Ushio or whatever. It probably could explain something that interesting. But I guess you guys have a great scraps of storm. And I will see you guys tomorrow with Kaguya-sama Cat Festival and of course Virgin